What's up, everybody? Welcome to Heresy Financial. My name is Joe Brown, and I have got a question for you. At what point do people start leaving? Now, I'm serious. This is a real question. I don't have an answer for you. At some point, if a country continues to devolve and become a less and less and less free place to live, to do business, to make money, to keep what you earn, to keep your family safe, as these things start to go away, at some point, population and demographics reverse. At some point, people start to flee. In places that are really bad, you see refugees just scrambling and leaving and just going wherever they can. Anywhere in the world is better than where they're currently at. In other cases, leaving is illegal and it is extremely difficult to leave. Places like North Korea right now. And those who do risk their lives. But again, pretty much anywhere they can get to is better than where they're currently at. But these places didn't start out this way. They devolved into this state of totalitarian control. And so how free a place actually is very important, but the direction is also very important. Let's say you're living somewhere that has a decent degree of economic or total freedom, but it's for 5, 10, 15, 20 years been heading in the wrong direction. Then another place on earth that might be a little bit less free right now, but has been moving in the right direction. Trajectory matters, right? And so a question that I've been thinking about a lot lately is what would it take and what would have to happen for a place to get to a point that would cause me to say, I'm out. I'm leaving, I'm gone. And if it does get to that point, where are the hidden gems around the world that you could actually go to that aren't participating in this madness? They're not participating in the global taxation. They're not participating in outlawing cryptocurrencies or outlawing physical ownership of gold or silver. Not participating in wealth confiscation or wealth taxes. Not participating in violating or eliminating private property rights. So I'm going to give you an effective tool and we're going to look at a couple of these places. Ready? Let's dive in. All right, so I've talked about this website before, but just in case you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and then head over to heritage.org. Now, I will link this in the description below so you can take a look at this index page. But basically, every year what this organization does is they list every country on earth and they rank it by economic freedom. Now, the way that they judge economic freedom is broken down into a couple of factors. Number one, we've got rule of law, which is things like property rights, judicial effectiveness, and government integrity. Number two, we have government size, which includes things like tax burden, government spending, and fiscal health. Number three, we have regulatory efficiency, which includes things like business freedom, labor freedom, and monetary freedom. And then they look at the fourth category, which is open markets, which includes things like trade, investment, and financial freedom. Now, breaking down all of these and assigning scores, they're going to rank and give a country a score anywhere from 0 to 100. If a country scores somewhere in between 80 and 100, that country is listed or ranked as free. It's just given the branding of, hey, this is a free country. Guess how many countries in the world fit that category of getting a score of 80 to 100? 5. Only 5 countries around the world get the ranking of free. And before I show you, I want you to make a guess. Think of a couple countries in your head that you might think fit at the top of this list. Number 1, Singapore. Number 2, New Zealand. Number 3, Australia. Number 4, Switzerland. And number 5, Ireland. Now, last year, they update this list every year, and last year, Hong Kong was number 2. And just as a little side note, if you look at this entire list, Hong Kong's not on the list anymore. It's not even on the list. It's not like it went from 2 down to 50 or 100. It's not on the list. And if you'll notice, Taiwan is number 6. And there are many people who are very concerned that Taiwan is going to go the way of Hong Kong, and something like that may happen as well. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, trajectory matters. And just because a place is free doesn't mean that it will always stay that way, and doesn't mean there aren't risks. But now I want to show you something that might be a little bit shocking. Where does the United States fall on this list? The land of the free, the place where freedom rings, the country with the Statue of Liberty. We rank 20. There are countries that were formerly in the USSR that are more free than the United States. And again, trajectory matters. Guess where the United States was on this list a year or two ago? 16 and 17. The United States has dropped to 20. There are very, very few people and individuals who have any influence or control over the way that a country as a whole goes. I mean, you and me have absolutely no power over what our governments say or do. We've got no influence over whether they increase taxes, whether they impose new wealth taxes, whether they make it illegal to expatriate, whether they start removing private property rights. We have no control over that. So control the controllables, right? If there's something you absolutely cannot do anything about, there's no point in thinking about it or worrying about it. But many times there are a lot more things that are under our control that we just don't realize, such as where we choose to live. And it might seem like that's an option that isn't going to be considered until things get much worse, but at least it's important to recognize that it is a choice and that it is an option and that there are places that are potentially much better, or at least going in the opposite direction, getting more free instead of less free. Now, as it stands, at least in the United States, in my opinion, it's still pretty easy to get on the right side of the fence. Obviously, it starts with financial literacy and it starts with knowledge, right? You're not going to be able to get ahead financially if you're just taking the mainstream advice and doing what everybody in the culture says to do, because most people in American society are bankrupt, right? And so if you're doing the same thing that everybody else is doing and everybody else is, bankrupt or destitute, then you're probably gonna wind up similar. Right? So it starts with knowledge and doing the right things and buying assets that are protecting you against inflation and shorting the dollar when you can and not taking on too much leverage and being financially literate, especially with taxes, making sure that you've structured your life in a way where you're running businesses, side hustles, things like that, so that you're not earning W-2 wages, that the government's taking half or more of all you earn. And so there are ways right now still, even in today's environment, where it's pretty easy to structure everything so that you are on the right side of the fence, because the bureaucrats and the politicians, they're going to structure things in the way that will benefit them and will benefit the people that give them the money, the lobbyists and the companies. And so those are the people that are on the right side of the fence. Follow along, jump on their side of the fence, do what they're doing. But it's very possible that at some point it flips, it turns, it changes. Maybe it doesn't happen overnight. Maybe it takes a while to get there, but it's very possible that at some point it might not be the best idea to stick around. And when that happens, you see a population implosion, you see demographics shift, you see fleeing out of countries. At that point, it becomes very difficult to escape if you don't have a plan B already. And if this has sparked any curiosity in you and you want to learn more about how to set up or plan for, something down the road, if you need a plan B, if you need an escape route, check out the book called Nomad Capitalist. I've got it linked in the description below. Fantastic resource. As always, I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.